that hair off your face, get that cute little egg look going. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me. I was inspired by the top I'm wearing, which sounds so weird, but basically it's got this orange bit on it that you can't really see, and I have a new orange lipstick. The video was born. I'm also going to be talking kind of, whilst I'm doing my makeup, about GCSE revision for science. Basically just GCSE Science tips and tricks. You guys love those videos, you have asked for science multiple times, so I thought I would do that, wanted to do my makeup anyway. If you haven't seen my birthday haul and you want something to watch after this to procrastinate some more, feel free to go and watch that because I talk about these products and some more things that I got for my birthday. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love if you did, and press the little bell because YouTube does not notify you when you subscribe to someone, which is very odd. Unless you press the bell, you'll only get occasional notifications and you will miss videos. Give this a thumbs up if you feel like it, or you know, wait till halfway through the video when you're like, this girl is kind of knowledgeable, not really, and sort of funny, not really. Okay, so I've already prepped my skin with a little bit of like a facial oil that actually is my mum's, but I've never used a face oil before. I thought I would just pop some on and see how it goes, but I'm going to be using a foundation stick today, which is why I thought I would try out an oil. This is the Makeup Forever HD foundation stick. My shade is in Y325, so I guess that's yellow undertone, and the shade is 325. Okay, so GCSE Science. Now the first thing that I feel like we should like note before I begin any of this is there are so many varieties of GCSE Science that actually giving you very specific tips is not that helpful, because there's IGCSE Science, which is what I did, there's just normal GCSE Science, there's double science, there's science where you only do like a couple of the sciences. I mean, it's confusing, and I'm confused by it because all I know is IGCSE and I did AQA Science. So I did all three, and I did triple science, not double science. And I did get A stars in all of them. This looks insane with the oil underneath. I need to get me some beauty oil, I think. So now we've kind of cleared that up about the different types of sciences, I'm going to be giving you just some general things. I mean, I haven't written like a script or like any points really for this video. It's just things that I think helped me and that I hope can help you, and some things that are quite science specific. Obviously I'm taking chemistry and biology for A level, so I do know a little bit more about revising for science than I do about revising for history. I didn't even take history GCSE, but I know about revising for chemistry and biology. So I have a tiny bit of redness. I'm going to put a little bit of this brand new Lasting Perfection green concealer, which was very kindly sent to me. I got the little set that has the yellow one and the purple one and the green one, and I've been using the green one and really enjoying it, so I'm going to use that today on my redness, and then the normal Lasting Perfection in Cool Medium #2 on my under eye. So I think, in my opinion, that versus A-level science at least, the three GCSE Sciences they're quite similar in the way that you can approach them. The tips I'm going to give you, basically, they can apply to all three. So whichever one is your worst, feel free to take the tips for that, because I think that the GCSE Sciences are obviously not similar in their content, but they're similar in the way that they're examined. Whereas I think, for instance, for the A-levels, they're different. I'm going to do a tiny bit of cream contour today with my Sleek palette. This is medium? This is medium, their cream contour. Using this brush from Blank Canvas Cosmetics. It's the F33 brush. It's like an angled contour brush. It's cute. I like this. I've been using it for my contour and I like it. So I'm going to take the third shade in the palette and just do a little bit before I put my powder on, just whilst this is basically still wet, because that's how I like to apply cream contour. Literally a tiny bit, because I'm probably going to put Hoola over the top. Okay, so whilst that's drying on up, I'm going to do my eyebrows. So basically, I'm using Cabral, by the way. Basically, the best way to revise science, very simply put, is past papers. The reason is because they're so specific about what they want your answer to be. You could know a topic like well and understand it conceptually, but not be saying the right things and not get the marks, because actually to really fully understand it conceptually, you need to be using the right words. I find this with my A-level as well, that I can understand what's going on, but say the wrong thing, and in the mark scheme it will say like, don't accept this, and I think, why? And you look at it more closely and you're like, actually that's wrong, like what you're saying is wrong, and looking at the mark scheme can kind of fix your conceptual understanding, which you might have thought previously that you had correct. So that is definitely the best way to revise, like as an overall past papers and learning mark schemes, as boring as that is, and just making sure that you like understand the papers. So I had a look at a couple of the papers earlier. I had a look at a chemistry paper. The answers are quite short that they want. They're looking often for like specific words or very specific phrases. And a lot of it is about just simply just knowledge and knowing what you're talking about. And I think there's like a real distinction between people who do and don't know what they're talking about, if that makes sense. Like, if you understand fractional distillation really well, you know what's going on, you can write down an answer and get 5 out of 5 or whatever it's out of. If you kind of know what's going on, you can scrape marks, but scraping marks isn't going to get you an A star. Oh, they don't do A stars anymore. A 9 or an 8. That's not going to work. You can't scrape marks and get that. You need to score marks, like score as many as you possibly can. And that's the way I like to think about revising science, is like you're trying to score as many marks as you can on the paper, because you can get full marks, you definitely can. So the most boring piece of revision advice I can give you is revise. You can't get away with not revising, because if something comes up and you honestly have never looked at it in your life, like how are you going to get the answer to that? You can make a guess, but like your guess is not going to be as good as the real answer. The dog is stealing clothes that are falling off the washing line. The best way that I have found to revise science, and that I found to revise science at GCSE, is write out my own notes. I know notes are very controversial and a lot of people don't like notes, but I personally find that notes is the best way to revise. I hate looking at my class notes, they're a jumbled mess, so I would definitely recommend writing your own notes. If you don't like looking at notes, use a revision guide. The revision guides, the CGP ones especially, are really, really good for GCSE Science. They have everything in it, especially if you don't understand something. If you don't understand something, looking over your class notes over and over again is not going to help you. You might need like a fresh perspective, and I would say that looking at a new kind of textbook or a video or a CGP revision guide is going to help you a lot. If you want to write your notes, how do you write your notes? I don't know if you've seen my other videos, but I showed you the book. I don't have it with me, unfortunately. I showed you the little book. It's an A5 size book that I had, that I wrote all my physics notes in, because I liked carrying it around with me so I could basically learn it like wherever I was. So I would definitely recommend that if you are the type of person who doesn't mind revising on like public transport and stuff. That is really helpful. It's just extra time that you can revise when you may not otherwise think that it was like revision time, which is always good. So making notes as clear as possible. Obviously use shorthand, but don't use too much shorthand, because honestly I do not understand half of my notes. Definitions are one of the most important things in science. If you know your definitions, chances are you can understand a lot more about the other stuff that's going on. And at GCSE Science, they ask you for definitions all the time. So knowing those off by heart are like easy marks. You can put them around your room, you can get your family and friends to test you, you can do little things where you like make online flashcards or real life flashcards, and then you can like flip them over and check the definition on them. I think Quizlet is the one online that does that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just going to use a little bit of, what's the shade called? Forever Lit from my Anastasia Glow Kit. It's the white one, and I'm just going to pop a little bit of that onto my cheekbones. What I have found works the best is going topic by topic, very much in depth. So let's say you have 2 weeks left until your biology exam. You're going to have to prioritise, because at this point in the year you don't really have time necessarily to go through everything if you're starting from scratch. So I'm going to start my eyes and explain to you how I do it. My dog is like attacking the door. Tino, go play! So I'm just going to make my eyelids a little bit less tacky with just a kind of matte vanilla shade, because they are kind of sticky from the primer. Pick out your worst topics, or pick out the topics that you think maybe have the most content, or the ones that are just like most nitty gritty. Sometimes you can kind of like, you just know things because they come up in nearly every topic. Reading through your notes and doing questions on it after. So learn your stuff, do the questions, great, that's solidified. Then you can move on to the next one, you can do another subject, blah blah blah, and then at the end of the day, if you feel like you've done enough, you can do a whole past paper, and if not, you can go back and do some more questions. There's a website called Physics and Maths Tutor, and I know it has A-level questions, but I mean, I'd assume it has GCSE ones, and if it doesn't, there will definitely be websites that do, and they basically just have GCSE and A-level questions on a specific topic that they've like compiled together, and those are so useful. This is just a greeny blue colour. Is this Neptune or am I making that up? No, I'm definitely making that up. I have no idea what this is called. It's from Makeup Geek. And it's a matte. So when you do past papers, you should kind of try and mark them right away, because you're going to know and like notice your mistakes quickly. If you go back to it, sometimes it's like, wait, what? And that's not very helpful, but doing the marking straight away is really good. Always do your own marking, because then you can see the mark scheme. And don't be nice on yourself, because it is a learning experience, and getting like a not so great grade on a paper is not a problem because you're learning from it. So I'm gonna go in and buff it out. So I would love if you could comment below like the main thing you don't like about GCSE Science, and I can definitely see if I can help you out individually with that. So one tip I've picked up since starting A-level is often they're looking for really specific words, and there are a couple of little things in the question that are like triggers, and when you see that word you know that what they want is for you to say a certain thing. And if you do lots of past papers and look at lots of mark schemes, you will start to notice that as well, and that might help you. So what I'm going to do is just paint on a little bit of concealer onto the back of my hand, and then use this brush here. It's like a flat shader brush, quite dense, to basically cover up the bit of my lid that has blue on it. So I am going to pop a little bit of my highlighter shade back on my eye. So Forever Lit, which is a shimmery white shade, onto that bit that I just kind of coloured in with concealer. Try packing it on, I think that will work better. And I'm also going to grab a little brush and put that in my inner corner. So I'm going to use my Fast Stroke Defining Lash Mascara by Collection. And I'm actually going to put on some false lashes today, so I'm going to only do this a little bit. Okay, so now I've put that on, I'm going to be using these lashes, which were very kindly sent to me by Pinky Goat. These are the Nora lashes. They are gorgeous. I'm very excited to use them. They are silk fibre, apparently, and they won beauty awards, which is fun. So I think I'll put those on off camera because I'm bad at putting on lashes, and I'll be back. So last but not least, I'm going to be using the NYX Liquid Suede Cream Lipstick, long name, in Orange County, which I think is such a pretty colour. It is a orange colour. Ta-da! Okay, so to round up my tips, I just wanted to say that I feel like sometimes it's a bit daunting to have 3 science GCSEs when you don't like doing science. So the main thing is to like not get daunted by them, because actually if you think about the content size, although it's easy for me to say having done it, it's not massive, it's definitely manageable, and you just need to make sure that you are revising like relevant stuff. That you're not like being waffly about it, you're really sticking to the point, you're looking at your revision guide, you're learning it. And I think that like watching videos, looking at like other people's notes, talking to people about it, getting like fresh opinions is really helpful if you don't understand a concept. And once you understand things, it's a lot easier to apply them. When you get into the exam, because I know they're very soon, and actually some of the science exams have already been, it's really important that you don't get freaked out by seeing a question that you don't like at the start. That happens to me quite a lot. You like get in, you're like, oh my god, I forgot to revise this. But actually going into it and like knowing that you can just skip and go back is really important. I put a little pencil mark in the margin where I need to check something, so when I go back it's really easy to spot the questions that I thought so I write add if I want to add something to it, I write C if I want to check, and I write CT, which is like check it if you have time. If you don't have time, you can skip over it. Practicing your graph skills is always helpful, because there are quite a few marks carried for like plotting points and learning how to draw a line of best fit. And if you don't understand something, seek help. There is no point struggling through it, because you won't be able to apply that knowledge if the question comes up. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you very soon in a new video. Remember to tell me what kind of things you would like from me, and ask me any questions you have. Bye!